Man, the amount of times that I've cried on the way to the gym, I know that doesn't sound very manly, but it's the truth. What's going on, guys? I am back with another video, and today's video, we're just going to get right into it. So the point of this video is going to talk to you a little bit about my journey that I've been through, going from, I guess, fat to fit, right? But there's a bigger transformation that took place there, and that's something that I want to share with you guys today. And this is going to be all honest. It's going to be completely upfront. I'm not going to cut the video. At least I'm going to try not to cut the video, just so that you guys can see that this is just me purely speaking from inside my heart, and it has nothing, like, I'm not trying to lie. I'm not trying to deceive you guys. I'm literally just trying to be honest with you about what I went through to get from where I was to get to where I am today. And so just to give you a little background about myself, which is something I also said I was going to do in this video, is that so I played baseball and sports. Baseball was my sport, but I played a bunch of sports throughout high school, both for the school and just on the side. And I was always pretty athletic, however, things kind of took a change the last part of my junior year, and I kind of got involved in some things that I should have gotten involved into, right? And it kind of took me off the course that I was on, right? And so I got really involved with just being addicted to playing video games, right? I got addicted to just not doing anything productive with my life, and it took me down a path, that really not set me back, but it allowed me to see some things that help me later on, which I'll get to. So basically, after my junior year, I stopped playing sports, I stopped playing baseball, and I got involved doing things that I shouldn't have been doing, right? I was staying up late, I was playing video games, I literally had nothing going on in my life, nothing productive. I had this dream that I wanted to become a professional video game player and all that kind of stuff, basically what ended up happening was I graduated high school, which I barely graduated, by the way. Like, I'm super smart, I'm super intelligent. However, I just stopped caring and stopped really showing up for classes, right? So eventually I had to write a letter to the school to allow them to let me to graduate high school. Could you believe that? Somebody who was so smart as me, somebody who was so intelligent and bright, literally became so involved, so consumed with playing video games and doing bad habits that I don't want to talk about, because obviously, it's tough to talk about, right? So basically what ended up happening is I graduated high school, and I was so unhappy with my home situation and my relationship that I had with my parents that I just wanted to move out. So I moved out at the age of 17, actually, because I didn't turn 18 until 2 months after I graduated high school, because my birthday's in July, so my birthday's actually in about a week or so, a week and a half. And I ended up moving up to Flagstaff with a few friends, right? And so basically this whole Flagstaff experience catapulted me into where I am today, right? So this whole Flagstaff experience was interesting because as somebody who came from a background of never wanted to do drugs, not saying that I did drugs, but never wanted to do any of that, never wanted to be lazy, always had dreams and aspirations for my future, I got so involved with just day-to-day life and not thinking about the future that I stopped doing anything productive. I literally was working at a job overnight at Kohl's, folding clothes and stuff, and literally I was just depressed, man. I was depressed, I was sad, I had nothing going on in my life at that time. And all I did was play video games, right? And playing video games and smoking weed and doing stupid stuff like that, man, it changed me as a person, right? Because every day I would wake up, I would do the same exact thing, and after about 3 or 4, probably five months, one day I woke up, I was like, I can't do this anymore with my life. I can't do this, man. I got overweight. I was so overweight. I'm gonna throw up a picture right now. And so, that's what I look like, after I finished up in Flagstaff, right? So then after I finished up at Flagstaff, I realized that I needed to make a change, right? I realized something wasn't going the way I wanted to in my life. So what I did is I moved back home with my parents. As bad as that was for mentally, because I had already moved out, I realized that's what needed to happen, right? So I moved back in with my parents, and then I ended up living there for about, I'd say a few weeks. I worked at Wendy's. Jesus. And then my father got an opportunity to go across the country to move to Connecticut, and that's what I did. I ended up following him because I didn't have anything going on. I didn't like the people I surrounded myself with. I didn't like what was going on in my life. So I was like, you know what? I can either stay here, be stuck in the same rut, or I can change my life completely and go do something that I had never done before and just get a fresh start. So that's what I did. I moved to Connecticut, right? And so the same kind of habits existed in Connecticut for a while, right? But I started to get more upset. I started to get really upset with myself that, somebody who had aspirations and dreams and things that I wanted to accomplish as a person, I stopped. I literally wasn't doing anything, right? So I had gotten super overweight. I'll throw up another picture now. And basically I tell this story to a lot of people, and I'm like getting a little bit emotional right now, but I'm just trying to be honest with you guys about what I went through. And so basically I was standing in the shower, I looked down at my feet, and my stomach had gotten so big that I could not even see my feet anymore. And that was the moment when I realized that, you know what, man, I'm tired of being sad, I'm tired of being depressed, I'm tired of not being the person who I wanted to be, right? Because I had a vision for myself my entire life growing up, and this is not who I was or what I was, and I wanted to change my life. And so what I did is, the first thing that I did is I went on, I think, eastbay.com, and I bought myself a super expensive pair of running shoes, right? Because this was my mentality. I was like, I bought these super expensive running shoes, and I'm not going to let them sit there all day and just sit in my closet, so I might as well put them on and use them. In my very first workout that I did, I ran around the block for 5 minutes, and I was completely winded. I was completely gassed, and that was day one. That was day one of getting in the trenches and working out. And so basically I continued. Every day I started to form that habit, right? I started reading books. I started doing research. I got consumed. I got obsessed, right? So after running for a while, I realized that, okay, hey, you know what? Maybe, this running thing's good, but I need to introduce other things to try to get more results or better results, or to exercise optimally. So I started reading about nutrition. And the first thing that I would recommend for everybody to do is cut out sugary drinks and cut out candy. Because if you're somebody who's eating a shit diet and you're eating terribly, sorry for swearing, but you got to cut that unnecessary stuff out, because those calories that you drink from sugary drinks are empty calories and your body cannot do anything with them. And the same thing with candy, right? If you eliminate those two things, I promise you, if you're somebody with a bad diet and you don't even do any exercise, I promise you're going to lose weight. So after that, I was living in this apartment complex, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to go to this gym, this little apartment gym that they have there, right? So I went there, I started exercising, had dumbbells that only went up to like 35 pounds. I started doing crunches. I was on the elliptical, right? And I was doing like 45 minutes a day on the elliptical. I was doing a set of crunches, and then I was like, you know what? I need to put on some muscle. I want to get a little bit bigger, right? So then I started exercising. I started doing curls, right? Started reading the book, started doing curls, right? Then I started doing stuff for my shoulders, and I started doing chest stuff, right? But the weights only go up to 35 pounds. And as I started to do a little bit more research and I started to read, I realized, you know what? I need to join a gym. I need to get into a gym. I need to get into that gym environment. I need to start using barbells, right? So I joined the gym. I joined this little small hole-in-the-wall gym up in Cheshire, Connecticut. And that's when the biggest changes started to take place, because I put myself in an uncomfortable environment that I was not used to, right? I started to literally go into this gym environment where I was so scared to be in, because I didn't belong there, right? That was my mentality. I was like, you know what? I don't belong here. This is not me. But I just kept at it, right? I had so many embarrassing moments in the gym, and that's why I tell all of you, I tell everybody who I talk to, that when you join a gym, you're going to have those embarrassing moments. Like, I had an embarrassing moment one time where I was benching, and I couldn't get the bar up, and it was only like 80 pounds. And somebody had to come lift it off me, right? There was a time where I literally was benching, and I racked the bar up, and I took a plate off, and the whole bar smashed down in the gym, and everybody looked at me. You know what I did? I dusted it off. I was like, you know what? So the camera only lets me record in 10-minute increments, so I didn't know that. But yeah, so I do have to cut it, but I'm only cutting it like once, maybe twice. I was like, you know what? You move on and you learn, and that's what I did. And so basically, you know, I started benching, I started squatting, and it basically changed who I was, right? But the biggest change that took place was not out here, right? You know, that's all anybody ever sees. You know, when they see somebody who's in shape, they see somebody who's fit, but they don't think about everything that person has had to go through to get where they are, right? The biggest change didn't take place out here. It was up in here. It was my mentality. I mean, I was somebody who was depressed. I was sad. You know, I was lonely. I had, you know, in Connecticut, man, I basically had no friends, right? I basically didn't have anybody who I talked to. I didn't have anybody I hung out with. I didn't have any of that. It was just me and my thoughts, right? So every day was Groundhog Day when I was there, man. It was like, you know what? Nobody's going to come here and nobody's going to drag me off the couch. Nobody's going to come pat me on the back and tell me everything's okay. Nobody is coming. No one was coming. So it was either me or it was nobody. So that's when I realized that I had to take it in control. I had to be in control of the situation. And that's exactly what I did. I ate better. You know, I started to exercise better. Every single day I was making progress. I was changing every single day. And whether I was seeing the changes up here, you know, I was seeing the changes in my body. Maybe I didn't see a change in my body every day or even every week. But every day that I stepped foot into that gym, I was growing up here. I was growing. I was forming a habit. I was gaining confidence. I was getting determined to achieve my goals, and I set little milestones. You know, I lost all the weight. Literally, I lost all the fat. I'll throw up a picture right now. I was skin and bones. Literally, that's what I looked like. You see the funny ears with the hat, right? I literally had nothing on me. So, you know, I started to gain a little bit of muscle. I started to, you know, to incorporate, you know, an actual training program. You know, these are the kind of things that I can talk about in other videos, but I kind of want to keep this focused on my journey. And so as I started to gain more confidence and I started to believe in myself, you know, I started, you know, conversing with people, made some friends and stuff, and, you know, it led me, you know, to meet a very wonderful and amazing person in my life. And you know, definitely was the best 2.5 years of my life, hands down. And you know, so basically I worked at a deli job for the whole time I was there, right? And you know, looking back on that today, where I am today, you know, I graduated from college there. I moved back home to Arizona. And now I'm here, and now I'm working at a job in the marketing department for a company, and I have my own office with my name on it. And, you know, looking back at that, the fitness, the physical change, I mean, obviously it's a big reason why people get into fitness. But the reason why I got into fitness was because I was sad and I was upset and I wanted to make a change in my life. So that's exactly what I did. And so that's my purpose in life, is I want to inspire the uninspired. I want those of you who are watching this video today, I want you to realize that you are in complete control of your life. Everything that happens to you happens for a reason. Okay, and once you start to accept responsibility for everything that's going on in your life, that's when you're going to start to make changes and be able to see that you need to make changes in your life. And that's going to take you to the places where you want to go and take you and bring you to the person who you want to be. You know, I mean, it sounds harsh. You know, obviously there's extenuating circumstances out there, but I promise you, once you just decide and stick to it and realize that I can be who I want to be, all I have to do is decide, your whole life is going to change, and it's never going to be the same, and you're never going to look back. Like that guy in this photo, he doesn't exist anymore. He's not here. I buried him. He's buried out there somewhere. No, but seriously, I believe in myself, and I believe in you. I believe that you can become the person you want to be, and that's why I'm here. I'm here to share my story, share my successes, share my experience that I went through from being somebody who was entirely depressed, entirely unmotivated, had absolutely nothing going on, to where I am today, where I feel like I could take on the world, and my only two limitations as an individual are my capacity to work and how much I'm willing to learn. So on this channel, my name is Charles Winters, okay? Charles Winters, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to help each and every one of you get to where you want to be. I'm going to give you videos, advice on training and nutrition. I'm also going to, show you my personal training, what I eat throughout the course of the day. Maybe some things that you guys want to see, I'll be able to document those things. Show you some healthy options that you can eat. Maybe show you that everything is okay in moderation as long as you understand that. And we're going to change our lives together. Together, we are all going to work together, and we're going to help each other. We're going to make each other better. We're going to become the best version of ourselves. And I know that's something that you guys hear, on a daily basis, and there's a lot of people who talk about it, but they're not really about it. If anybody ever has any questions about anything, and I mean anything, man, you can contact me. I have all my social media down in the description. So make a change in your life today.